Simon Yates, doped with terbutaline in 2016, achieved the unthinkable in 2025, winning the Giro d'Italia at almost 33 years of age, just when no one expected it. But then, in early January 2026, just 8 months later, he announced his retirement due to a lack of motivation, even though his own team, Visma Leasebike, had designed a specific calendar for him, and had even taken official photos with Richard Plugger's bees. This surprise retirement has caused many people within cycling to throw their hands up in horror. No one turns their back on €2 million in exchange for a relaxed racing season just because they don't fancy it. And if you don't believe me, ask the White Kenyan, Chris Froome, who's squeezing every last penny out of philanthropist Sylvan Adams. In this video, Uncle Cycling tells you why very few people believe this sudden withdrawal is due to a lack of motivation. Make sure you follow me on my X account, @UncleCycling, for even more content. And now, without further ado, let the show begin. Chapter 1. Simon Yates and his revenge in the Giro. In 2018, the formerly terbutaline-doped Simon Yates came very close to achieving his first Grand Tour victory, thanks to the wise advice of his close friend, Dr. Manuel Rodriguez Alonso, an expert medicine maker who helped the Briton fly in that campaign thanks to his moral support. However, on the grueling Finestra Pass, the White Kenyan Chris Froome caused a real collapse for the then Maglia Rosa Simon. That day he lost his identity card, as well as 35 minutes to the man whom New Zealand cyclist George Bennett had accused of doing a Landis. Now, after a 6-year stint at Jayco without his beloved Dr. Rodriguez Alonso and with some less than stellar results, Yates signed with Visma Leasebike to lend his wisdom to Danish star Jonas Vingegaard. And he also had the option of leadership in the Giro d'Italia. And what was initially just a dream became a surprising reality when, taking advantage of the marking between Romina Hinojosa's boyfriend and the king of the Minions, he achieved an incredible victory on the same Finestra Mountain, the same one where he'd been crushed 7 seasons earlier, a move which also earned him the long-awaited pink jersey. And the surprising thing is that he did it with some overwhelming statistics. Simon Yates, the former terbutaline doper, broke the record for the legendary Italian Starato Summit with a time of 59 minutes 23 seconds, almost 5 minutes faster than Froome, and that includes a TUE for salbutamol. In 2018, that same day when Yates had finished exhausted, a broken man. And if that weren't enough, the Latvian Karlis Ozols calculated an absurd 6.2 watts per kilo on one of the toughest, longest climbs in cycling. It was an absolute exhibition. And of course, the final triumph of Yates, who ended up being received by Pope Leo XIV at the Vatican. With that success and a remarkable Tour de France afterwards, Yates seemed all set to start 2026 in relaxed mode, until the surprise came. Chapter 2. Retirement due to lack of motivation. On January the 7th, 2026, just 10 days after Germán Dario Gómez Becerra, a Colombian rider from Polti, was caught using boldenone, as I explained in this video on the channel, Simon Yates, who had been doping with terbutaline in 2016, surprisingly announced his retirement. The British cyclist had been training at the team camp in Spain with his teammates, and had even taken official photos, and the director of Visma, Grisha Nierman, assured everyone that they had made the season's calendar in accordance with Yates's ideas. He was all set to earn €2 million for the year, spending his days in Andorra, paying a reduced rate of tax, and living comfortably near his brother Adam, as well as many other cyclists. In other words, Simon Yates had everything going for him, and all his needs were covered. He hadn't quarrelled with any other teammates. According to him, there hadn't been any illnesses. And yet, in a brief statement from the Visma team, he confirmed his retirement due to a lack of motivation. What a bombshell! The move seemed to anger Visma general manager Richard Plugger, who was nervous now about not being able to replace one of his best cyclists for the next few seasons. For his part, Jonas Vingegaard, the Danish rider who unintentionally dodged a doping control in 2019, added that Simon Yates was tired of the pressure of being a professional cyclist. As if anyone would actually put pressure on him after reaching his peak with 2 Grand Tours, and all at the ripe old age of 34. With this scenario, people inside cycling began to talk, and the truth is that very few believe these reasons. Chapter 3. The peloton's distrust of Yates. Now, Uncle Cycling is not going to reveal his sources. Some teams have even sent their legal teams to stop this information from spreading. But the reality is that several World Tour teams completely distrust Simon Yates, as do I. Of course, I can't say for sure that his retirement has anything to do with doping. It could be a family situation or a mental health issue, or he might even prefer to take a distance learning course to pick up Mandarin Chinese. But why claim a lack of motivation when history shows us that, whether doped or not, there are thousands of unmotivated cyclists who continue to ride, especially when you're looking at a paycheck of €2 million for a season? And furthermore, why not announce this retirement at the end of the season and thus help his team and teammates plan for 2026? These questions, of course, cyclists and staff members from other teams with whom Uncle Cycling and other media outlets have been able to communicate, to have some serious doubts about the reasons for Simon Yates' retirement. Now, you wonder, could the reasons be related to his past doping with terbutaline? Chapter 4. News travels fast. Prestigious European media outlets have contacted Uncle Cycling and told him that there is a lot of nervousness in Andorra, a famous tax haven for cyclists where some, such as Tom Tiny Tim Pidcock, reside. And they've wanted to disassociate themselves with it all during this pre-season by going off to Chile. Could this be related to some dark issue involving Simon Yates, or indeed one of his brother Adam's teammates? I don't know. But what Uncle Cycling has been told is that the relationship between the 2025 Giro d'Italia champion and David Lappartient, president of the UCI, is very fluid and really very good. That the communication between the two regarding this withdrawal, well, it's been excellent, as we saw in a genuflecting, affectionate message from the UCI president to the former patient of Dr. Rodriguez Alonso. I am 100% sure that our beloved Selfie does know the real reasons for Yates' retirement, but for his own reasons, he's not revealing them. They haven't yet come to light. Now, personally, I think it must be the option of mastering Mandarin Chinese. It's a very complicated language, far too complicated to leave to Duolingo. And mastery, well, that must be worth losing €2 million per year, especially if it helps you to learn how to manufacture low-cost bicycles in Wuhan's industrial parks. That must be it. But just in case there's anything else, Uncle Cycling will continue to investigate. And if any more news is coming, you will of course hear it if you subscribe to this channel. You'll be the first to receive it. Now that's all for this video, but we will of course see you in the next one.